Welcome to our Sunday morning meditation service. So much is going on in the world right now that is so crazy, and it's really important that we pray at this time and send love out to those areas and do what we can in consciousness raising of ourselves, that we do not get into hatreds like what are going on at this time. It is so tragic. We're going to be doing a call and response. And just feel what we're saying and feel the presence. Open my heart. Let only love surround me. Center my soul upon the path of peace. Make of my life God is in all of life. We are all one. Open my mind. Let kindness flow through me. Centered in love, a love with no end. Make of my life a melody of love. God is in all of life. We are all one. Open my eyes to see love before me. Radiant love shining through all. Make of my life a melody of love. God is in all of life. Open my heart. Let only love flow through me. Center my soul. Upon the path of peace. Make of my life a melody of love. God is in all of life. We are all one. Open my mind. Let kindness flow through me. Centered in love. A love with no end. Make of my life a melody of love. God is in all of life. We are all one. Open my eyes to see love before me. Radiant love, shining through all. Make of my life a melody of love. God
Good morning, everyone. I have a couple of questions for you. If you could turn the hubcaps on your car to gold and sell them, would you? Think about it before you answer. Today, gold is priced at $1,900 an ounce. The average hubcap weighs about 3 pounds. So one hubcap would be worth, let's see, I did the math here, $9,462. And all 4 hubcaps would be worth $37,848. And when you think about this, if you could turn your television set to gold, the average television set weighs about 40 pounds. That would be worth about $121,000 in today's gold. I want you to think about this because you're not getting the spiritual message we offer at Unity. You may have to put some of the alchemy of this to work. And finally, what about your spouse? I mean, the average spouse weighs at least 100 pounds. We're talking $3,041,000 for a spouse that you turn to gold. You know, this kind of smacks of the King Midas story. You remember that fable, King Midas? He wished that everything he touched would turn to gold. And right after he made that wish, it became a curse for him because everything he really appreciated and loved in life was turned to gold. And that fable is about human beings being careful of greed, avarice. So you see that stories like that, King Midas, they have a message for humanity. And so do many of these stories, most of the stories actually in the Bible, hold a message for humanity for all times. So we should really try to get away from looking at the biblical accounts as history. Most of them are revealing to us something about human nature that we need to be aware of in order to live more effectively and more beautifully in life itself right now. But you know, if you had the ability to turn a base metal hubcap into gold, you would be fulfilling what the alchemists of ancient times trained to do. They actually believed there were people then, magicians of some type called alchemists, who supposedly could transform base metals like tin and lead into gold and silver. And of course, they also were ever able to extend one's life or to come up with an elixir that they could give you, and it would allow you to live forever. So all of that, of course, today is considered pseudo-science or folly. It's not considered to have any validity whatsoever. But I believe that the alchemists of ancient times, even though they may have thought, as they went about seeking to perform that kind of magic, that they would discover the real alchemy for all people, for all times. Now you might honestly ask yourself, what qualifies me to speak about alchemy? I am an alchemist, and so are you. And if you come into the understanding of that, you'll come into the understanding that the alchemists of ancient times came into, that it was not about transforming base metals into precious metals. It's actually about transforming base thoughts, attitudes, and emotions into precious thoughts, attitudes, and emotions. And when you first hear that, and if you're not used to unity jargon or spiritual jargon, you may scoff because you think, oh, this is like a lesson, a unity lesson. This is a unity lesson. It's positive thinking. What would it take you to know, to come into the knowledge that the ability to transform base thoughts, attitudes, and emotions into precious ones like joy, peace, compassion, would also reward and ennoble you and prosper you, just as the limited alchemy of years of old was thought to ennoble and prosper the alchemist. What would it take? What would it take for you to perform the alchemy of which I am speaking? To discover that it is as powerful a magic as anything the alchemists of ancient times dreamed about. Here's what it would take. Your own personal experience. You can never get it from someone just speaking about it. You can never get it from any of the millions of books written about personal transformation. You can never get it that way. Never, never, never. Perhaps someday you'll pick up a book or hear somebody say something and you'll start to seriously start to take to task your own awareness and be awake when your own mind is lost in negative thinking, creating negative emotions. Awake enough to know this is what's going on. Instead of just allowing it to go on because that's the way life is. I mean, everybody does it. See, that's the flaw in the thinking of the world. Everybody's living in that consciousness. Everybody does it. It's okay. No big deal. Doesn't really have an effect on you. Nothing could be more incorrect than that, what I just said. So you can hear the truth that will make you free. You can hear it forever. But the only way you're ever going to experience the veracity of that truth is if you put it into practice in your own experience, in your own consciousness, in your own life. There have been so many powerful testimonies to this ability to transform one's mind and have an absolutely positive outlook. What do you think having a positive outlook, regardless of what conditions and circumstances may have appeared to you before to be, instead you've decided to look beyond the seeming limited, fearful, worrisome, and decided to just look beyond it and to bestow peace unto yourself, to bestow compassion, and then to feel joy. But having found yourself doing that, experiencing this other truth, which people simply have the hardest time ever considering, the outer directed images of your life correspond to your deepest held thoughts and beliefs. What's going on in your consciousness all the time is revealing to you who you are by virtue of the conditions and circumstances, relationships you are meeting in your world. The illusionary assumption is that everybody lives in the same world. And I'm an objective observer of that. And you can go through life believing that, and believing that you're smarter than most and you'll get by well enough. But the truth is, everyone's living in his or her own individual projection of the world. And while people may share some of the same ideas in their projections, they would seldom share all of them. They're the only ones that actually share all of the awareness, or the masters of life, who have taken the task of their own awareness, who live in constant peace, joy, love. And there's been so many, really, there have been a lot of great books that could point a person to a life truly worth living. There's a lot of been great teachers. One of the amazing films that came out not too many years ago was What the Bleep? And I think the main director was Will Arndt. He was one of the producers of that phenomenal, enlightening film. And before I do that, I want to share with you, I got ahead of myself. I want to share with you Webster's definition of alchemy. A medieval chemical philosophy that had as its asserted aims the transformation of base metals into gold and the search for the preparation of the elixir of longevity, an apparently magical power or transmutational process. So that's Webster's thumbnail sketch of alchemy. But I am qualified to speak to this because I am an alchemist, and so are you. The thing about most people is they don't experiment openly on faith. They take for granted the deluded, insane thinking of the people that raised them, educated them. Those people who never once meditated, most of them, wouldn't sit still to allow possibly a more refined awareness rise within them. They went and gained whatever they needed to become important in the thinking of the world. And then their importance carried with it whatever it is they laid on the populace. And so now here we are. The fact is, the thinking of the world will accomplish nothing of real value. One has to transcend the thinking of the world. And what the thinking of the world is related as, by the master of life, is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Somebody does this to me, I do that back, or I get even. People get, even some people need to be punished and all of this. And of course, we see the madness has grown beyond human ability to recognize madness. Imagine the thinking of the world has lost the human ability to recognize insanity. We see it in the Middle East today. I wasn't going to talk about this, but really you have to think about this. What but an insane person or persons would contemplate the kind of an attack Hamas made on the Israeli people of Israel? Who could consider that without realizing what effects that would have when you are attacking the fourth most powerful military country in the world? Did it ever occur to you that your loss would be so much greater than whatever feelings of vindication you may have gotten from that insane slaughtering? So you have to confess that the thinking of the world for them, they could not recognize the insanity of it. Somebody had to say among them, wait a minute. You know what's going to happen if we do this? Did anybody say that? Did anybody have any kind of clarity of thought? Anyway, I'm not even tuning into it. I mean, I honestly am not tuning into it. I'm trying to leave behind the madness of the world. But I want to share with you the kind of anxiety we humans operating in the thinking of the world create moment to moment to moment for ourselves. This particular sketch from What the Bleep, the movie, has a young lady whose recent marriage just fell apart because her husband is cheating on her. And she blames herself for not being capable enough to have pleased him or helped or been there for him or been smart enough to know what to do and not to. And she's carrying all this blame, creating this great anxiety. And she can hardly hold on to her life. She is so anxious. And now her boss is riding her to get to work. She's got to get there. She's already late. And we pick up this scene where she has a revelation. It takes place in a subway station. Can we have the video, please? That's a pretty comprehensive scene. The writers, of course, took the research of Masaru Emoto, a Japanese scientist who did this experimentation. There's a book written about it, speaking about the mysteries in water that he wrote. Fascinating subject, the fact that what type of thought you would place in words on a bottle would affect the water in that bottle, distilled water in that bottle. And then, of course, the line is very true. If our thoughts can do that to water, can you imagine what they are doing to us? And so, this is only one example from a really brilliant movie. They have a number of speakers in this film who speak about the necessity to become more keenly aware of what we are thinking most of the time, because it is, in effect, really creating the lives we are living. And it's said so cogently and clearly by, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm giving my partner up there, Steve, some opportunities to improvise. Steve, can I get the, from, what's his name, Allen, James Allen?
Okay. Yes.
All right, can you give me that? Thank you. This is from another masterful book, As a Man Thinketh. He's all has another book title, As a Woman Thinketh. Mind is the master power that molds and makes. Man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. So clear, so cogent, so to the point of reality. Can we take it again, take it back again? Mind is the master power that molds and makes. Man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. It doesn't get clearer than that. I mean, basically, all of the books that we're sharing in our bookstore just about relate to the same ideal about waking up from a long, lost journey into self-annihilation. That's where it's going. Did you know that? Didn't you think that the collective thinking of mankind, if it did not find a way beyond the initial format of that thinking, if mankind did not rise above it in some manner, that mankind would ultimately annihilate himself, herself, itself? But that's not our question, and that's not our problem. Our problem is our own personal lives. People say, what can I do to be of help? How can I serve? You want to serve? Make your life an instrument of peace, so that nothing that's really taking place in the illusionary world causes you to carry negative emotions into your relationships, but instead you transcend that. You have become so proactive in bestowing peace, blessings, consideration, kindness, that you're not even aware for most of what is taking place in the mad, mad world. So you decided to do that, and the problem that goes with that is that outside the thinking of the world, where people only find praise in dealing with illusions, there may not be any praise coming to you from other people saying, see what this person is doing? In the Bible, the Master says that you should, in secret, make your offerings to the God who is the creator of creation. Make your offering in secret and you will be rewarded openly. That's your reward. That life must ultimately, the appearances even, must ultimately bend and bow to bless your thinking, your deepest thoughts and beliefs. The world itself, imagine, has to be shifted and changed to suit your thinking, your ideals, your awareness. But as I said, you can hear this a bazillion times. It's not going to do very much for you until you decide that you're going to take to task your own awareness. You're going to practice this divine yoga. And there is no yoga as divine as that which you practice every day in your relationships in life. There is no greater yoga, and there's no greater reward than finding that you have the ability to transcend the negative, the fear-driven, the worrisome, the problematic, to be able to transcend that simply by having the courage, the willingness to not go along with the insanity of the world. Don't go along with it. Don't let people convince you of it. I'm going to give you an easy way to remember this. Hear no evil. Speak no evil. See no evil. I set that up a little bit differently than you see it's done in most illustrations. Because if you don't listen to evil, and if you don't speak no evil, you don't pass on the gossip and the madness and the fear and the concerns of the illusion-driven world. So if you hear no evil and you don't speak any evil, you will not see any evil. Pretty simple way to remember how to conduct your life. And remembering in the process that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind in manifestation. Can we have this from A Course in Miracles, who says it so clearly? Knowing that the presence of God is to feel good. You were born to find that presence. If you're not there yet, then you need work. The Course in Miracles, this is the new edition. Oh, you put this up from the new edition. Page 201. Paragraph 5. Huh. So you have the new edition, right, Steve?
Yes.
And I'm operating from the old edition. I always put it up there, the old edition, then I have to make the transference. But the situation is such that I have the entire old edition memorized. And when they changed it, they left me out. This is more important. If your brothers and sisters are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation, you are blaming yourself. And you cannot blame yourself without blaming them. That is why blame must be undone, not seen elsewhere. Lay it to yourself and you cannot know yourself, for only the ego blames it all. Self-blame is therefore ego identification and as much an ego defense as blaming others. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack his Son. Of course, the Course in Miracles relates everyone who exists is the Son of God. So, but look at this. You just leave this up for a moment, Steve. Thank you. You cannot enter God's presence. You see, the whole illusionary idea of life has been you don't enter God's presence until you get to the end of your physical life and you run out of steam, energy, and the abilities to ward off disease, and then you cack. Then you go to heaven if you had been, I don't know, good enough, or a good enough Catholic, or a Mormon, or a Jew. I don't know what it all means, but then you might go to heaven. But that's completely in opposition to what Jesus said, that the kingdom of God is within you and all around you, but you don't see it because you don't have the consciousness yet for it. So what's this is saying right here? You cannot enter God's presence, which means you cannot feel good. If you are attacking anyone or anything in the supposition that they are in fact separate from you. If anything, they need forgiveness. They need some kind of compassion. You even need to look upon those people that are so limited in thought, what they did in the Middle East. You have to look at them and understand how limited. And when we get to that place, if we honestly want to know what it means to live in the consciousness of God, it means to feel good. You have the ability to make yourself feel good. And you can only do that when you are taking to task your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own emotions. You're not letting them run away in the thinking of the world. You're going to draw back in. You're going to pause. How did you get out here? I'm going over time, man. When you come out like that, sneak out here like that, you got to tap me or something. All right, I just went overtime now. Everybody's unhappy. I wanted to make them feel good. But you didn't tap me, now they feel unhappy.
Don't blame her.
Okay. Oh, I can't. I can't blame her. I'll wait till I get her home. All right, let's take a few moments for meditation together. Just take a couple of deep breaths. As you release your breath, release any concerns or thoughts that concern you. Just let them go for now. Can you imagine? You can, if you are so willing, to just let them go. And become aware that just breathing is a miracle. It is, in fact, a miracle that we breathe. It's not something we invented. Our heart beats, our cells carry on reproducing themselves. A million other processes take place that are not of our making. But one that is of our making is our thinking. And so if we remember that breathing is a miracle, we can remember to breathe when we are beginning to feel negative emotions or concerns, fear, worry. we can remember just to start breathing and watching the breath, and know that the breath will ultimately deliver us to a place of peace, of acceptance. Just breathing is a miracle. It is a prayer. It is a mantra that opens our awareness to the divine. And now as you breathe, image your body as a complete vacuum, and the breath is a golden ether, entering your body and filling it from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, releasing your breath through the pores of your body, breathing in the refined golden light of life, it filling your body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, releasing the light through the pores of your body into the world, breathing in the refined golden light of life, it filling your body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, releasing the light through the pores of your body. It dissolves all shadows of darkness and fear, breathing in the refined golden light of life, it filling your body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. You feel buoyant. You feel joy and peace. It's okay. It is possible to just feel okay. Why not? Releasing the breath of life through the pores of your body. Breathing is a mantra, a prayer that allows the awareness to feel God and to know that everything is okay. Just breathing is a miracle. Remembering to breathe when limited conditions or circumstances arise, and letting that breath open you up to the peace of the presence of God. That is true prayer. For just breathing, remembering to breathe, is a miracle. Feel the miracle of life entering your body as though your body is a complete vacuum, and it fills your body from the tips of your toes to the top of your head. And you release the whole concept of being separate from life. For the breath you breathe is light, and it is the breath that everyone breathes. Just breathing is a miracle. Remembering to breathe. And the Master of Life, who said his words would be forever, speaks to us. You are the light of the world. let your light so shine before others that they may see your peace, acknowledge your compassion and your joy, and seek to glorify the light within themselves. Just breathing is a miracle, a mantra, a pathway into the presence. For this opportunity to practice this presence every day, we give thanks. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. Those of you that are watching live stream, you can scroll down to that icon that says donate. You have all these other ways that you can donate to Unity of Boulder. For your own sake, don't continually tune into this online and not support it in some way. So as we bring to mind that gift we are going to make and like to make to Unity of Boulder, let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. Amen.
Only believe, love heals, love, pure love only believe, love heals, love, pure
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of Truth. The Spirit of Truth. Amen. We will have our group meeting in Fellowship Hall. There'll be some chairs set up in there if you want to stay and chat. If you have some questions about the talk this morning or anything to do with Unity, I'll be there to field those questions. Is there anything else coming up then?
That's it.
That's it. All right.
There'll be a potluck after the second service.
Oh, there's a potluck after the second service? All right. That gives you the opportunity to sit down and share food with the other people in unity. If you're new, it's a good way to get to know your friends and family in unity. So you may want to pick something up even at the 7-Eleven. And if you don't have anything to donate or to give to the potluck, then come anyway. We always have enough food for everyone. So everyone, have an amazingly beautiful day.